The How to Train Your Dragon remake was released on June 13th, 2025. The movie stars Toothless, Gerard Butler, Mason Thames, Nico Parker, and is directed by Dean DeBlois, who also directed the 2010 animated version. Disney has set a new precedent with movies in the modern era by remaking their beloved classics for a new audience. Very little have been quality films, and most have been soulless versions of their originals. How to Train Your Dragon is able to be a movie that wasn't entirely necessary, but I actually kind of had fun with. It makes some very small but great changes to the original that I felt added to the story. Astrid doesn't just become a completely different character after she meets Toothless. A lot of the action and character work is more grounded, and visually, the movie is an experience on its own. The most important aspect of the original films was the relationship between Toothless and Hiccup. While I think the two had chemistry, Thames' Hiccup just didn't feel right. He's a great actor and he tries his best to fill the shoes of Jay Baruchel, but I think the animated rendition of Hiccup is too ingrained in fans of that movie, and he was fighting a losing battle with the original coming out only 15 years ago. Toothless is more of the same and feels pulled directly from the original, which is a good thing. Hiccup didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean any of the other characters didn't. Stoic is stoic, mainly because Gerard Butler just reprises his role, and also because Gerard Butler is such a great actor. He does not phone it in, and you could feel the passion in his performance. Nico Parker as Astrid is far and away the better version of the character in my eyes. Astrid was great in the animated films, but too often became an afterthought instead of the fully formed character she deserved to be. I always saw her as more of a fit leader than Hiccup, and in that spirit is in this version of the character. The side characters are still dragging down the story, and I think they aren't as charming as their animated versions are. They still fall in the same trap as being obnoxious, holding no important motivations, and honestly, saying dumb stuff. Apart from Julian Dennison as Fish Legs, I actually prefer his version. As I mentioned earlier, visually this movie really packs a punch. While the original movie had very stylistic and goofy designs of the dragons for the most part, the dragons here were given really gritty and Game of Thrones-esque designs, apart from Toothless, who looks the exact same way as he does in the original. I actually also preferred these designs as a Jurassic World shill. They really seem to take a page from those designs and dinosaur designs in general, and I really appreciated that. They wholeheartedly did not phone it in on the CGI. It looks fantastic, and I think it helped a ton that Berk was actually fully built during production, and you can really feel the weight of Berk in its citizens and architecture. It feels 100% grounded in reality. It really stands in contrast to Disney's live action remakes in this department, as those feel very cheap and as if the budget went all down the drain. In behind the scenes footage and videos shown during production, they really leaned into the idea that DeBlois was passionate about this remake and wanted to give another worthy version of the story. While I do think he succeeded in that with what I've mentioned, there are some things that really stick out. Astrid has a running line where she'll hit Hiccup and say, "That's for blank," and then she'll hit him again and say, "And that's for everything else." Every time this happened, a little part of me realized these are actors trying their best to deliver lines that just didn't work. Why did we have to keep these in? They should have been cut from the movie, and there are a lot of lines that feel in the same vein with Rough Nut, Tough Nut, and Snotlout. Not Fish Legs though, he was just fine. Emotionally, this movie hit just as hard as the 2010 version, and that has a lot to do with John Powell's score. It's still just as breathtaking and beautiful as it was originally. I was half expecting a worse version of the score because I had seen some videos discussing how the music wasn't as good, but I honestly have to disagree. I loved every moment when the music took the scene over, and it feels just as seamless as it did in the original. Test Drive and A Romantic Flight still stand out as truly amazing pieces of music and steal the show when their scenes are playing out. When I first saw the trailer and marketing for this movie, I'd half decided I wasn't going to see it, because I have been very much over remakes of already existing movies and IP, but something told me this one will be different. While I don't think it was as different as I expected or wanted it to be, I do think it sticks to landing in a lot of ways. While I do not think it is superior to the original, oddly enough I do think it stands with the other as being a truly great movie, only being dragged down by some dodgy dialogue, Hiccup being somewhat miscast, and simply being a remake that came much too soon. I would recommend it if you're a fan of How to Train Your Dragon or animated movies in general, but if you're expecting a completely different telling of the story as a whole, I just say stick to the original.